Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Insider Gaming. Mike here, and I'm pleased to be joined now with the solo dev behind Monster Mercs, which you just saw on the Insider Gaming Showcase, Adam Jeggers. Adam, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
So, before we get into Monster Mercs itself, what is your background? What got you into game design?
I this is my first commercial indie game, but I have been making games since I was 13 years old, and I'm quite a bit older than 13 at this point. So I've always been a big gamer, always been super interested in making my own games. But when I was in college, I started a group. We attempted to make our first commercial game. At the time, the Source engine had just come out for Half-Life. And so we tried to build a game on top of that. Obviously, coming out of university with the tools that we had available was not a massive success, but and then kind of life took over. I ended up joining the military and then found myself in a career because you got to eat. Life just kind of got away from me for a while. And then as I, was looking at my next chapter in my work life and in family life and had some things happen that afforded me the opportunity to really take a step back and focus on the things that I wanted to do and be more of the person I wanted to be. And to be quite frankly, I love the idea of making games. I love playing games. I love talking about games. I love analyzing games. It's always been a kind of a background passion, but really committing to going and making not the best game ever, but the best game I can make. Right. I'm very proud of what we've done so far, and I'm excited to see players react and kind of get the experience that I was trying to craft for them.
So, Monster Mercs is a single player or co-op action RPG that where you take on contracts to get paid. What was the inspiration behind going this route with your game? Did you play? Were you an action RPG fan? Was it a genre that you really gravitated to, or was it something? Hey, I have an idea. Let's see if it works.
Actually, I discovered Monster Mercs. It was not I did not deliberately set out to make this game. But what I did know was I love roguelikes. I love lights. And I also
love
love
a difference.
Yes, roguelike, and then Monster Mercs, which I think is actually kind of a and then I also love the co-op crazy chaos missions that you see in a Helldivers, Deep Rock Galactic. Those I'm a very social player,
Yeah.
and I think a really positive thing we're starting to see is a lot more social games. I mean, I hate the term, but the friend swap kind of revolution is people want to play with people and have fun, atomic experiences. And so as I'm prototyping different games and ideas, I come to this convergence of the episodic kind of roguelite, experience intersects with this co-op crazy experience that you get with these others. But also one of the things that me as a gamer, I like progression. I want to feel like my character is getting better, that I'm maturing as a player. My character takes on more and more attributes of the way that I like to play the game. So that's a traditional fantasy RPG style, right? So it's really just became this intersection of those three things where it's oh, I want to be able to, because one of the things I don't like about roguelikes is you don't have any real agency in the kind of experiences you want to have.
Yeah.
Right. I love the meta progression isn't really enough. I want to have more agency on the kind of character I play and the kind of play style I have. And maybe sometimes I want to play 15 minutes. I want to play an hour. I want to play against one of the things I think they do really well with Helldivers, you get to pick what kind of enemy you want to play it and at what difficulty. And I think giving players that kind of agency allows you to hop in with different groups of friends and build parties and then have your own meta story where kind of like a D&D campaign to a certain extent where I can do one D&D style interaction where it's I have this party, we're going to go to accomplish this task, but I don't have to commit to a 2 or 3 hour grind on an MMORPG, get to the boss where the fun part is. So that's kind of how that evolved. It just evolved naturally through as I was creating different experiences, how that game became kind of came to fruition.
How long has the game been in development at this point?
We're about 13 months, 14 months of development. We started up really fast. I am doing this as a part-time second job. So but I'm putting in about 40, 50 hours a week, but I'm also hiring lots of really great artists. I'm not an artist. I'm a producer slash software engineer, 20 years in that. So I've been like leveraging a lot of really great folks in and around me, but we've been working right at 13, it'll be 14 months next month.
Now, when you're getting started and you're kind of prototyping the idea of what you want Monster Mercs to be, you're doing your design documents, you're getting ideas, you're testing out. Was there a moment in your process where you realized you were onto something, like something just clicked? There's always those moments where you go, and then was did that hit for you, or when did it hit for you?
Yeah, I think first off, I think every time I had a playtest, I had one of those moments where like you observe people having fun and you're like, oh yeah, that's obviously what fun is. But I think we have a hard time, like at least me as a designer, I have a hard time figuring out what fun is, like quantifying that.
Yeah.
But I think the first time it happened to me was I'd made several prototypes, and one time I found myself just playing it, like not like analyzing it and testing the mechanics. I was just like actually playing like a child would play with a thing. And then I was like, oh, this is fun. Like I wasn't being deliberate, like, oh, I'm going to make it fun because of this and X, Y, and Z. It was like, oh, well, yeah, I found it through discovery. I found my own fun. And so like, I just double clicked into that. And then we found the next fun and we double clicked into that. And it's kind of like that's how I discovered Monster Mercs.
It like waterfalled itself down, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I have built way more things than are in the game. Most things don't make it into the game. Like we'll build something and like, that's not fun. And we'll build something else. That's not fun. Or like, this could be more fun. It's like a constant, like fail fast methodology when it comes to the design stuff, because I'm so like I have an unfair advantage and like I can write code really easily and fast. I'm a software engineer 20 years. Like writing a feature, it takes very little time and energy for me. It's just like using that to discover the space in which my game can exist.
What was like a eureka moment for you on a feature that you were trying to implement and you weren't really sure if it was the right way to go or right thing to do, but then once you actually got it running, you realized it improved Monster Mercs so much?
Yeah, there've been a lot of those. The mobility system, it was early on was like a big deal, because I think one of the frustrations I have with a lot of games that I play is like moving around feels sluggish. And you see this, you actually see like 2D platformers take a lot of time and energy on like the locomotion systems. But I feel like 3D games kind of like overlook that a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like just like how you move around and how your character moves. Like oftentimes in like the combat system, because I think of that as locomotion as well. Like they feel sluggish, they don't feel responsive. So like that the speed at which your character moves and responsiveness. I remember that being like a really big deal. I spent probably way too much time making sure that was really fun before like building anything else. And I like thought I had it perfect. And then like the first set of playtesters, they were like kind of there's like little points of frustration. And I made a sprint and I made a dash, which were not originally in the scope of the game. And players were like, oh, this is great. And like, and then the next playtest, people were just sprinting and dashing. And I was like, oh, yeah, like that kind of, I mean, then we have to like, we're going to, okay, you can't always sprint. There has to be a stamina system kind of, but that like moment of like mobility options and optionality, like that was like a really early indicator that like, oh, there are like really small things on the mobility system that can like make it extra fun. And like we're like Monster Mercs is designed to be broken. Like, hey, we want to make broke builds. We want you to be like, there's a real power fantasy that we're trying to enable.
Yeah, I mean,
and
at
like,
the end of the day, too, coming from that software development background, like when I would test them, like my goal is I want you to break it, like that every single time. Like if you don't, if you come back to me and say everything's perfect, nothing's wrong, then I know there's something wrong. Like,
yeah. So that was like it's like it feels like a small thing, but I think it's like, of the things that you do most frequently, those things have to be as perfect as you can make them. And moving around is the thing that you're always going to be doing. So like, those little minor tweaks have like really enhance the player experience. And I think we're just going to keep kind of thinking of it like that.
On the opposite side of things, what has been like as a solo developer, you're the one programming everything. I know when you have the experience writing for a different type of software, it still comes kind of, it's like riding a bike at this point. But was there anything that really just was a big obstacle for you that took longer than expected to get over? And how did you maybe solve that problem? Did you just say, you know what, maybe it's not for the best, or did you actually find a solution?
Oh man, the entire notion of a user interface is extremely difficult. Like I haven't cracked that nut, because I think they're like, I mean, you can look at our user interfaces and they look good, because I hired an artist to help me with that. But the user experience and the user flows, I think it's just it's not how my brain works. And like, you can't be good at everything. So like, it's one of the things that like I'm constantly frustrated with in our game is like, we have like good serviceable UIs, but good and serviceable is not good enough, right? Like I want you to have as much fun in the character creation screen as you do during combat, right? And like trying to like know what to tweak and know where to move things and know how to size things. Like it's a continual battle for me, just trying to make sure that like the game isn't at a minimum isn't frustrating when it comes to the UIs. Much, you know, in a perfect world, it's just as much fun to do like loadouts and things of that nature as it is to do combat.
So Monster Mercs allows you to play with up to 4 players in a co-op adventure. What was it like coming up with the different characters you'll be able to play as that way? And maybe can you dive into that a bit for players on who they'll actually be able to go in on their journeys?
Yeah, so you will have a stable of characters that you get to pick and design. We're starting with 3 different races, 2 different body types, and then a smaller set of character customizations, hair, skin tone, things of that nature. We wanted to keep it fairly rooted in fantasy. So it's human, orc, dwarf. So we'll pick those things and going to customize those 3 races. I think, you know, in a perfect world, if I wasn't a solo indie, we'd have 12 races. But trying to keep like the core experience tight, but also allowing you to like impart your personality as much as we can. So like there's custom armor sets, there's custom coloring, there's customizations on those characters. But you have a certain degree of flexibility early on picking your class and your character and your body type and those kinds of things. So you'll be able to have up to 4 characters that you have like that are persistent, that you can grow over time. So like if you feel like playing a paladin today, you can play a paladin. If you feel like playing a tank tomorrow, like you can kind of swap out those characters.
You spoke about like Helldivers being kind of an inspiration and those types and roguelikes. And that, what's the gameplay loop like for Monster Mercs for people who've just watched the trailer for the first time?
Yeah, so you load into the kind of your loadout and lobby area where you can collect a party. Then you decide what mission you want. So you pick a mission from a available mission list. You get to pick the location and the mission type. So if you want to do a rescue mission, or if you want to do a clear out all the bad guys mission, or if you want to do like a bounty mission, go kill a specific monster, you get to pick that. Each mission comes with its own set of difficulties and rewards and in different biomes. So you guys decide what mission you want to take on. Then there's a loadout where like, hey, I want to take this sword or this equip this armor set, because when you go into a mission, you kind of have to, like, it's fixed. So like when you're in mission, there's no like weapon swapping and because like there's a loot system, but we don't want you like optimizing loot while you're trying to be on mission, and that kind of takes you out of the immersion. Yeah. So like when you go with the loadout and equipped monsters and equipped spell slots, like that's your loadout for the mission. And then you guys transition into the mission. While you're there, you go kill all the baddies or rescue the princess or go take down the big boss monster. Along the way, you can collect loot, you can collect essence. The thing is, like, when you collect loot, you actually don't get to see it. And this is part of the meta game where like you can identify this spear. You don't know what attributes this spear has. You know, you picked up a spear and it looks pretty rare, but like you're not like doing hot swapping of equipment, right? Right now you're on mission. And if you die on the mission, you lose all of the things that you had looted. You don't lose everything because I hate that. It's so frustrating. Like Tarkov's a great game, but like it's the most frustrating thing in the world. Like, oh, I lost everything that I've been working for.
Right. And then
So
you get that gear paralysis where you don't want to go in with your good stuff because you don't want to risk losing it.
exactly. So once you've extracted with something, you can't lose it. It becomes soul bound. It's going to come back with you. So you don't have to worry about risking your top tier gear on the mission. So you only lose the things that you've gotten in the mission. And the idea is that you go do the mission and you have to successfully extract. And extraction means different things in different game types, but there's some risk in which, hey, you'll kill the bad guy, but his minions come and slaughter your party, right?
Yep.
There's a revival system. If you go in a party, you can revive your partners, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then, rinse and repeat. There's a store, there's upgrades, there's skill trees. As you go, you as part of the skill tree, you actually, one of the main mechanics of the game is the ability to transform into a monster of your choice. So as you progress, you unlock more and more powerful monsters. And the currency used to do that is monster essence. So in Monster Mercs, every monster is created out of essence. And when you kill them, you actually get to recoup some of that essence for your own use. And so when you have enough essence, you can become a massive dragon, or you can become a tree ant, or you can become a slime. And in each of those monsters have their own set of unique capabilities and abilities. So like you can be a skeleton, and some of the monsters actually can blend in with the other monsters and they won't attack you. Yeah. Or like you can be a banshee and go through certain walls. Or like there's certain gameplay mechanics that are going to lend itself to like being that kind of monster. So you have like in addition to the flexibility of your class, you're going to have these monsters that you can collect essence and then become part of as well.
Where and you can wishlist Monster Mercs right now on Steam. Of course, links are in the description below as well. How far along in development would you say the game is at this point?
We are so by the time this airs, we'll be very close to our demo. We'll be doing public playtests. We've been doing public playtests for the last few months, or closed playtests for the last few months. At the point at which this airs, we will definitely be in public playtest and be very, very close. Maybe launching a demo while this airs, depending on how many sick days I have between here and there.
Can't come in today. Where can people follow you for more information on Monster Mercs and stay up to date on everything that is coming?
Yeah, so they can follow us on social media, Isaac Games. We're on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or if they want to join our Discord, the link to that is on our Steam page. I'm sure we can provide that link as well. So if you want to be more active, like a large portion of the design feedback happens in our Discord. Like I'm constantly like, hey guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Help me name this new weapon, et cetera, et cetera. Like the community is extremely engaged in the development and design because at the end of the day, it's for the players. Like,
yes,
I've got like great ideas, but like I actually don't care about my ideas. I want to know what the players want. So I'm definitely trying to build a thing that people are going to really enjoy. So if you want to be super engaged, that's where to be engaged.
Again, Monster Mercs can be wishlisted now on Steam. Go check it out for yourself and keep an eye out for all of the latest information. Adam, thank you so much for taking the time, and I'm looking forward to seeing more about the game real soon.
Thanks, Mike.